conversations, whatever, I literally will pause my shit, because what happens is, actually, Methless, if you get a chance to at any point, go have a look at one of my art stream videos on YouTube. Because, like, there's, like, you can't see the video, can't hear the video, time's sped up between chatting. So anytime I, like, stop doing something, it doesn't matter. I speed that up to 4 times at times to keep it up to pace. So nobody's missing out on anything. And yeah, there's conversations in there somewhere. I'm sure of it, maybe. I kind of like this so far. Now I just got to make her that weird squintiness to it, because I like this mostly. I know I've, like, only drawn, like, one emote for, like, this whole 3 hours so far, but it's fine. Okay, but she told me so. First, if you don't trust your partner, then why would you have a relationship? Makes no sense. Because insecure people date to feel validated, waiver. That's part of how dating happens, unfortunately. Like, there is a lot of very insecure people in relationships. The other thing, too, is a lot of people value themselves less than they actually are. So if they're, like, a really great person and stuff like that, you know, they'll value themselves as, like, easily less than whatever the other person is. There's also a lack of trust sometimes in partners. So if you have a partner and, like, they may never have done anything in the past, maybe you've had another partner in the past that's done something, but generally speaking, if you have a relationship with somebody, just because you won't cheat or you aren't emotionally cheating or aren't flirting and stuff like that, does not mean that they won't do it at the drop of the hat. Let's call that eyes. Like, I literally know somebody that's in a relationship where their partner has cheated from the very, very first day and will continue to cheat well into their marriage. And they were cheating before while she was pregnant, cheating during the wedding, cheating during the honeymoon, cheating between child 1 and 2, and she doesn't think she can do any better. But she doesn't have any security for that relationship. So she doesn't trust any other females unless they're either repulsive physically, outwardly, so therefore he's not likely to get with them, or alternatively, if for whatever reason the female's relationship is more solid and trustworthy, kind of thing, because you can sometimes tell with people if they have a really, really solid relationship just by looking at them and stuff. So there is that too. If I'm truly honest, it feels more like you want a slave because you don't trust your partner, don't want her to talk to other males, females, and you just want to control your partner. There is controlling toxic relationships too. I have a swig of my drink. I'm, like, dying here. Hold on. There are toxic controlling relationships. There are some people that actually like and want that thing. Some people end up in those kind of relationships, not because they want to, but because they didn't know that the person was like that. Like, sometimes you don't really know what a person is like until you're actually dating them. The other thing too is a big one is, like, you don't really know what a person's like until you've lived with them for real. Like, if you want to get into a relationship with somebody and marry them without ever having lived with them, you're in for a surprise, because whatever you think they're like, they're probably not going to be like. You know, unfortunately, there's situations where you're not allowed to date before marriage and stuff, and that can be a problem for that kind of scenario. I want that to be there so I can see better, but I need this to be a bit lighter, honestly. Need that to be even lighter still. What else is there? The husband is terrible. Husband is terrible. Socially, he's a great guy, but relationship-wise, he's a piece of shit. There's no kind way to say it. I did it. I'm happy the way it worked out. Yeah. Like somebody with like OCD hygiene and stuff like that, and also having owned a house and shit. Like my dating life was a lot harder than it should have been because I had to worry like, was somebody going to move in and steal my house? Was somebody going to move in and abuse my cats? Like, I don't know. The other thing too is in Australia, there's such a thing as a de facto relationship. So if you live together for a while, you you have like part ownership of the other person's assets and shit, which is a bit bullshit, honestly, but whatever. The government does it to prevent people from frauding the unemployment system and shit. But it also rips out that if you're unemployed and you are literally just living with somebody and you're not in a relationship with them, it can prevent you from getting government assistance, and you're not supported by the person that you're living with. So that also sucks too. Um, but I get that enough people do it and destroy the system that they can't just like trust everybody. They're just going to expect the worst because it's probably going to be the worst. So if I understand correctly, the reason why people don't allow the partners to have a lot of that just don't allow their partners just have a lot of insecurities. Let me change this one. This one's loud as shit. I can't think through this one. There we go. That's better. Oh, put that back. I have a lot of insecurities, but they're was it for the partner they're with? You're together to help each other out and maybe teach each other, or so they can trust you. Yeah, see, the thing is, Waiver, people don't necessarily get together because they want to help each other out and like build a life together. Sometimes they just want to fuck. And they're like, you know what, I don't mind this person. So maybe we start a relationship since like fucking was good. So that also happens too. So yeah, sometimes it's not built on the best starting basis. Um and the other thing too is in the insecurity of like how you met. Like if you are with the person that cheated to be with you, they're probably going to cheat again in the future with somebody else because that's how you ended up with them. Uh, there's all sorts of things. The other thing too is sometimes people genuinely don't believe that they're attractive when they are attractive. I used to not believe I was attractive. I didn't realize I was. The biggest problem I had was I had a mother constantly telling me that I was basically like this ugly, obese, fucking unlovable, disgusting creature kind of thing, right? With a horrible voice and an obsessive compulsive disorder that nobody would want to be with and stuff, right? So from my perspective, in my brain, I thought I was a ugly, unlovable, obese creature that was not going to ever date anybody. And the truth is, when I actually look back at the photos at the time, I was actually really quite attractive. And I understand now, as an older adult, why all the partners of my male friends were really insecure and did what they did. Because, like, fuck, yeah, I kind of get it. I don't know if that eye is better, but we'll use this one for a moment. I get it. I was fit. I was pretty. I was talented, intelligent. Yes, I had OCD. And yes, I had a shit family. And therefore, I had some kind of crappy habits and shit like that. But yeah, for the most part, I get it. I really do. I get why they're like kind of crap people. Welcome back, Keelan. I was going to. Hold on. We need to play a specific song for you. Hold on. Not that one, I'll tell you that much. There we go. I've been waiting for you to come back, Elon. Welcome back. We're talking about shitty relationships and insecurities and stuff like that. So yeah, heavy topics. Just to give you a heads up. There we go again. Oh look, we've had some interesting songs tonight. What else is there? I hate that so much. I hate that. People have sex and just, okay, let's get into a relationship. Yeah, people do that. People do, in fact, just do that. Well, I like that Keelan likes the song. I kind of want to turn it up. I'll turn it up in my headset. There you go. I'm pretty sure it's loud enough for you guys. I might have to thicken the front line like that to make it work. But yes, people enter relationships in all different kinds of ways. Sometimes the people that started with sex start off with having kids before they even have dated and stuff. So relationships aren't as black and white as, oh, I like you, let's court for a while, and then if we're good, we'll marry and get to know each other and build a stable life and stuff. It's not quite how it works everywhere. I actually don't mind that going up like that, actually. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish I could look back at the time when I had to like deal with my mum and stuff and just be like stronger and more firm about myself and stuff. My life would have been pretty different though, I reckon. Um I don't know. I guess because like I thought I was ugly when I was actually like pretty and fit and shit. I was humble about it. It's probably how that came across. Is I probably seemed humble because I didn't, well, I probably actually probably came across more like, you know, one of those girls that's like doesn't believe you it's fishing for attention kind of thing. I probably came across more like that actually. I find that this face configuration is so fucking hard. You have a kid before you even start dating. You hook up on a dating app, you go fuck them, find out that you're pregnant, have a kid to them because life choices, and then decide, or they find out that you had a kid and then go date them because you then want to build a stable family with them. That's how that happens. Um, we're getting into like some like really interesting topics here, Keelan. Yeah, people do that though. Look, people do it. So, um, like, I don't know. People also sometimes pick their partners based on their experience in bed. I don't even know what to call this. I don't know. Reader's choice, maybe. It's not that, but you know, irresponsible or responsible. Uh, I don't know. I'm sure that everybody has a different kind of approach to like ending up in a relationship and dating and stuff. I was always led to believe that you couldn't have a relationship if you, oh, sorry, you couldn't get married unless you were dating somebody, or you couldn't have kids if you weren't married and stuff like that. But I used to question that. I'd be like, yeah, but what about like the 16-year-olds that are walking around that have got kids? And my parents would be like, well, they're obviously horrible people. My parents are horrible people. That's what the truth was. But yeah, you can do whatever, realistically. I don't know how I feel about this, but let's bring it out and let's move it around. Let's duplicate this. Yeah, duplicate that. Let's hide that. Kinda. I'll see how this works. I don't know. There was a lot of plot holes that my parents had in their ideals that I would often question and stuff. And a lot of it didn't really hold up to scrutiny, you know. Just one of those things where it doesn't. I might tilt that downwards a little bit more. Let's see. I want it in about there. Bring this one down. No, it kind of, it worked where it was. I could bring it down a bit more. But yeah, as far as like insecurities and people dating and stuff, some of it can be how they see their self. Some of it can see how they see their relationship. Some of it can be how they start a relationship, past relationships. Some of it can be that they think that the person is too good for them, and that everybody else is a threat. Like, there's all kinds of things that cause insecurities and stuff. So, yeah, it really just depends. Depends on the person, depends on what bothers them and stuff. The other thing too is not actually knowing what their partner actually likes and stuff. I actually feel like these eyes could be bigger. Like if you don't know what kind of a person you're dating or with, like that can also be a problem too. Um, I realized this was the entire thing. Did we? Oh, that's right. I sent us all the way back to the front. Let's go back down to. We had. I'm pretty sure we had. Where was PewDiePie's one there? We just passed PewDiePie's thing. We were down about. Yeah, that's where we were in the music. I don't know, like for instance, I know with my partner, like I knew him before I was in a relationship with him. He was engaged and everything to the woman that he was like really like he was like somebody that like gushed in love over his partner and stuff, but she didn't value him the same way, and she wanted a relationship with her best friend. So yeah, that resulted in Nick getting single, and I started to notice him once he was single. Like I was like friends with him at work and shit, but like I never really actually like knew him. I knew who he was in his relationship with her because he was always so faithful and so in love and stuff, and I was always like, wow, she is so lucky to have him. He's just the most incredible partner and stuff. And I had considered them for roommates, like housemates at one point, but I didn't like her family. They were fine, but her family, I just didn't want them here all the time, like hanging out in my house, because they would visit her all the time. And I'm like, that's too much baggage. But I'm like, Nick was a prime candidate. I'm like, yeah, he's good. And then of course when he ended up single, and he started taking care of himself, and I started noticing him, and he started coming out of his shell, I kind of got to see who he was as a person, um, like his own personality and stuff. And I liked that, so I wanted to date him. And yeah, that's basically how I started kind of dating Nick. And I would say that that was worth it. But I also kind of knew with Nick that like my relationship with him was different to everybody else too. Like I hadn't dated much. I'd been on dates, but I hadn't dated much. But I knew that like my relationship with Nick was like really solid, and I knew who he was as a partner to his previous relationship and stuff. So I kind of knew what I was in for in that relationship. And yeah, I would say that was worth it. I'm being blamed by my friend now because I left without explanation. No, I already told her I want to play alone before I joined. Yeah, I think probably because you just left suddenly. You left playing a game like really suddenly. Like I said, my guess is that they're more so bothered about the fact that you just stopped immediately instead of actually just being like, hey, I'm gonna go play by myself. I actually do really want to play this by myself. You know, it's great hanging out or something like that. Like you could say that next time and see if it helps. Because I think just like disappearing can sometimes come across as like, oh no, what have I done kind of thing. Been better to be honest. Yeah, I'd say just in the future, even if something's frustrating you and you want to yeet, is probably just give your friends a heads up by just saying, "Hey, I'd really like a chance to like have a go at this by myself," kind of thing. I really wanted to, and I think I'm gonna go do that. You know, give you your own layer. I feel like this is back to being loud again. Hold on. Nah, it's on 40. It's not too bad. Hey, look, no worries, Keelan. I'm glad I could harass you with the one song. I now know like 4 or so different people's like unique songs that I can like play when they come to visit. No worries, Weber. Let's move the mouth up. No, don't change the shape of it. So what I'm thinking was I kind of had a more rounded kind of mouth. And I think what I want to do is grab this line here and turn it upside down. Now it's been another few weeks trying to restrain myself from seeing it. I'm sorry, Keelan, I had to. You know I have to, right? It's a mandatory requirement. It's harass Keelan at least once during art stream. Nah. Honestly, at least it's a nice song. I want to flip stuff, but I want to flip in the opposite direction. I can get it out of my head. The other thing you could do is just blast it non-stop and see if it gets out of your head faster that way. There's always that option. Kind of like, I could just make that a bit bigger. Yeah, if I resize that. Hold on, first things first. That way I don't accidentally resize it again. That's what I want. I kind of want it to connect like that. God, it looks funny. All right, move that, merge that down. What I'm thinking is if I can get my eraser in here. I love the fact that I basically like reworked this entire drawing just to be able to have something that looks like the way we've got it so far. I think it's really funny because I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to rework anything to that degree. Actually, that kind of like coming up square looks better. Like that. I'll probably bring the corners in a little bit like that. I don't know. I think growing up, growing older is kind of like being able to see who you were years past kind of thing. At least that's kind of what I feel like. I kind of like feel like there's been times when the person that people have led me to believe that I am is not at all looking back who I was, which is kind of nice because at least like I get some kind of like growth from that as an adult instead of like forever just thinking that that's how life was. I kind of want you to be like that, but I know I had her mouth like more open, but I kind of thought that might have been better if it was up. I might be able to warp it, honestly. Let's hide that. So I thought if I brought her face up, it would look a bit better. Like I could bring her nose up and stuff. Because I don't want this to be that high, but actually that's kind of it, isn't it? Fucking hell. The only other thing is I want to duplicate one of these eyebrows and flip it over because I hate the fact that I've got two random ass eyebrows that aren't the same fucking shape. I want the longer one, honestly. I want this one. I also made them much more like thick, sluggish looking things. And I never normally have like thick eyebrows on my person. Is that a different song? Yeah, it is. I was gonna say, I'm like, what the fuck? Let's get you equal. And let's yeet you over. I'm pretty sure they are the same. Oh, they are exactly the same. That's so weird. They look like they're like different heights. The hell? That doesn't look right. Let me move it a bit. Let's move over like there or something. Let's get rid of this first eyebrow that's like here. Get rid of this one. Okay. This one. I'm gonna have to move it back over a bit, like there. At that. I kind of want to make her eyebrows a bit longer because that way it's a bit more right kind of thing. I wonder if I can shear it to a shape. I'd probably be better off just fucking drawing it, honestly. But look at that. I'll merge them together so I don't have to deal with that. Merge that down. That's what I want. Let's call this brows. I know how to spell brows, but this is funnier. I actually have been enjoying the fact that I've been like kind of like just fucking around with a lot of the words I've been writing in this. It's funny to me. I kind of actually want them to come out more than downwards. So what I kind of want. Let's see if we can shear this shape. Not that. Best body original. That, where is the eyebrows one coming from? Hold up. What layer is that on? Not mouth, not that. Ain't eyes copy. They can merge together though. It's not that. It should be up top. I would think it would be that. Oh, it's part of this. I thought so. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so I can't just like take those, but I can take those at the same time. Give me them. Put them on this one. Get that down. Turn that off. What I want to try to do, I just want to play with shear for a second. I don't know. Oh, it's doing the whole thing. That's just going to wobble them. That's funny though. Let's not do that. That would lengthen it. That's kind of the shape that I want, actually. No, keep moving it like that. Shear that. I'll take that one. The other one now looks like I've got a question. I love it. Give me that. Copy the other one. Let's get rid of that. All right. So my only problem with this is I got to move this one over now. Kinda. Her actual eyebrow would be like there, but I think that, I don't know if being connected to it would be alright, but let's move it up a little bit more so we can see it. Alright, this thing needs its own layer. I need to turn my music back up. My head. Alright, come here, you. They're like little creatures. I love them. I feel like they need to move up one though. Yeah, it looks like they're in line. Hold up. God, this reminds me of like 2008 kind of music. I love it. About that, I think. Yeah, that's kind of it. I almost want her eyes to go up a tiny bit. Like the whole face to move up except for her nose. Her nose is kind of fine, but I don't know if maybe moving it down would help. That is her nose. There. Alright, I'm gonna have to steal your nose off this layer. I need that. Give me that. I love I've got your nose. Oh man, it's so fucking literal. Just out of interest, I have everybody who's currently present's nose, and I'm not giving it back. Oh jeez. The shit some days. Alright, let's turn that back off again. I'm gonna have to bring in part of her face shape, but for the moment, my only thought is if I took her nose down more, the problem is when you have an expression like this, the focal point is centered. Her nose is centered, right? If we're looking at this as the dead center of the screen, right? It's about there. Sorry. Also, I don't know if you gotta like refresh the browser or something. That delay. Holy shit. You're not getting it back. Just so you know. It's mine now. Because of my wall of noses. Oh man. I also got another energy drink while it's up earlier too. Yeah, I used to actually try to rush to be like a 3-minute break and shit like that when I take a break. Because I was worried that like everybody would disappear and just not come back and stuff. And so like I'd rush around and it would maybe take me like 5 minutes to do everything I do whereas now taking a 10-minute break. Like, I did forget to mark where it was, so that's going to be fun in editing. I'll probably have like a 10-minute break in my stream somewhere. But still. But yeah, my point is, if this is the main focal point, if I move her over so she's centered to you guys. So if you're looking at that, that legit looks accurate where like her eyes and face and everything is. Now, if I scroll this out to how tiny she's going to end up being, yeah, it's fine. Perfectly fine. I'll have to color in her mouth, but then she's basically done. I could work on, hold on, I'm going to need her. I need to take basically everything except for the main lines out of here. I think it's just that. And this. Oh, her original eyebrows too can go. My only thing is, I don't know if I want the lines up in here or not. Usually I don't bother to keep them, but I think it'll make it harder to see her face. Give me my mouse. Yeah. Kind of clouds the image. Tiny bit. I'll leave the lines on her face though. I could do them like, what do you call it? Translucent. I could do that, but I don't want to. All right, if I have that, and then I will paint up. Where is her? What is this? Her eyebrow. All right, let's merge that down. Her face should be above that. Her brow should be above her mouth. Her nose should be above her mouth. Her eyes should be above all of that. That shouldn't even be in there anymore. I don't need it. Let's see what we got here. Let's get rid of things that I don't need. Swatches, I don't need that in here, and I don't need the originals anymore. Get rid of them. There we go. I will keep the background up for the moment because that's helping me. And I want to paint between this. I had to lay down for a bit before work. I'll be listening in my ear speakers. No worries. I hope you get some good rest. I'm not going to try to draw the second emote tonight. I've been trying to just kind of like keep up the habit of doing the streams. Hold on, mouth color. There we go. I've been trying to keep up with just kind of doing the monthly art stream when I can and stuff. So even though I could spend potentially 5 more hours doing another art piece after this, I'd rather kind of like spend a little bit of time potentially working on something else I've got in the background while I've got a chance to, and that way I can get started on it. But yeah, pretty much after I color her mouth and get her sizing and stuff all done up, which I now realize I actually need my swatches back for her mouth. Lol. Yeah, once I do those, I will probably end stream then. So actually kind of only about a 4-hour stream, which is wild. Like, I've had like the shortest art stream was like a 3-hour one when I broke my toes at the start of stream. That was like, because I couldn't deal with the pain. That was fair. I also find it funny that as much as I've used the same emote template like multiple times, I actually kind of like just completely redrew her this time, which amuses the shit out of me. Because like, I could have done anything with this. I could have just designed my own new one. I chose not to. Hold on. Only problem now I've got is I might do it better if I zoom out. Come on, give me my mouse. Give me my mouse. There we go. Let me work with this at a distance because I'm going to have troubles close up. Kind of want to bring it down because I don't actually want it that far down. The funny thing with my character is I actually, when I draw her a lot of the time on paper, I don't actually complete her mouth a lot of the time. It's never like usually a closed circle. The funny thing is, I could have used the same one as this. I wanted to. The path here was not a direct one, but it was entertaining. Lol. Look, art stream is always wild and interesting. Like, I sometimes have different music. Since I've got the video player working now, it has been kind of like a bit of the same kind of mix the last couple of art streams. But for the most part, there's always really interesting, fucking wild conversations and shit. It's a great one to turn up for. Plus, I like it because I get a chance to kind of like, you know, have a bit of like extra time to interact and shit. That's outside of a game, you know? Oh yeah, my music's not going to be the easiest to fall asleep to unless you're like really a fan of techno, unfortunately. I don't know how I want to do this. If I think that was like her tongue color for that, which would be about here. Which honestly isn't that bad. I have to like crop it in here. I'll just work with it. Actually, that's half the shape of it. It's fine. Take you down a bit. Honestly, this is one of the fastest ones I've done. It's always really, really slow. I actually don't mind that being partially translucent too. It's less attention to it. I kind of don't want it to point at the center. I can work with that. Let's get that different color. Also, I hope you sleep well, Sariel. I was wondering at some points when you actually do sleep, considering you managed to watch like my YouTube videos and you catch my stream, and yeah, I'm like, I hope you're getting enough sleep. It is in there. All right. As long as you're getting some sleep. I sort of want it to be more pointed like that side. Let's grab this part here. Let's grab that. Flip that. They flip it before you try to like put it down. I kind of want no way it's going. Oh yeah, that would be where it's going to. I could probably move it over by one. The whole thing's moving now. Great. Don't do that. Give it its own damn layer. God damn it, no. What I want to do, kind of erase this bit here. It is very smooth to that point. I don't think that's quite the right shape. Nah. I think that the rounded part here actually isn't that bad. Get rid of that extra bit. Delete that. Let's try this side and take it over. Take this part and copy paste it. I erase that side now. Oops. It looks a little bit better. That's more of the rounded, like D shape, lol mouth kind of thing. I almost want to bring it down a little bit more. I think that thing's actually affecting it. Get rid of that. Bring that back, but let's make that darker. Her tongue is too light, but it's also too rounded on the side. Like, yes, it's got to go from the edge there, but completely butchered that. Alright. I think this thing has to have its own color bit to it. And I need to take it across that bit there, fix that up. Eventually, one day, I will have a wave emote. People can wave when they like come in and shit. I actually half thought about just drawing the super detailed hand that I've got and just like making that a wave on its own. But I already know there are people out there that are sus that are gonna like abuse that, use it for sus things. I already know. Let's bring you. Oh, your mouth isn't quite. Do that. You, I need to merge down. All right, now I can copy that. What I want to try to do. No, don't do that. Stop anchoring the fucking thing. Give it its own layer. It's the wrong fucking layer. Of course you copied the wrong one. What I want to do is I want to copy that. No, I don't want to copy that line. I want this to move down a bit. That's a bit better. Yeah. I actually think if I just see if I can shear that to a better shape. Not that. That ain't the one I want. Do it to that one. Put it back. Mouth line, mouth color. Okay, so it did something. That one. The one that I want to see if I can shear it. Not like that. No. I hate trying to figure out this fucking shear thing. Shear, scale, rotate. 3D, maybe. No. Nope. Ain't those. Perspective, maybe. Whoa. That ain't this perspective. That's hilarious, though. If that's the case, I could probably do that. It's basically having the exact same mouth that I already had on her. It's actually not that wrong. It's about right, isn't it? Fucking hell. I'm trying to give her something that's actually different. Get off that transformer. Take it back to the flip one. What I want is if I was to open up hype for it to be obvious that it's not the same kind of thing. Having a wider mouth kind of like works with that, but generally speaking, my character doesn't have a very wide mouth. No matter how fast she like opens it, it's never like exaggerated, like anime exaggerated. That does kind of look like the expression though that I want. If I make it any more narrow, it's going to be a lot closer to happiness than it is to being like just laughing silly. I honestly think that that would be about right for her laughing. The only problem is I've got to give her a bottom lip. All right. I'll stick with that for now and see what I think. But she needs a bottom lip. So above all of her mouth. All right. I'll also have to squeak a star in on her chest. Not that it's probably going to be super visible, but I'd rather have it there. And I'll just take one from a different art. It'll be fine. If I have one, that is. So what I want, I actually want this to be more of an 8 or something. Actually, I wonder if I can mirror this. Symmetry. Let me mirror this. Horizontal. Should be vertical. Yeah. All right. But if I move this over, vertical symmetry, central symmetry. Nah, fuck it. I can do this. Fine. Whoa, shit, I forgot to turn it off. Turn that shit off. Fucking hell. I was not ready for that. Basically, all I want is like a line kind of here. Kind of thing. Maybe even smaller, but I think that that should be fine. I'm not going to try to put the standard like little chin bump underneath her, because when I zoom it down, you're not going to be able to see it. Actually, no, fuck it. If I do it, I'll probably emphasize it a little bit. It's only like that kind of thing. It's probably actually about right. That's had to be a bit thicker. There we go. See how this zooms out. No, that's all right. It works. All right. That's not too bad. I actually changed like a lot on her. My only thing is, do I have a front facing star on any of her stuff? I bet I don't. I'm thinking I don't. She didn't, she didn't, she doesn't. She had that in the way. I know it's not going to really be super visible, but still going to bring it in. Star. Whoop, not star. I want star. Let's give you a color. Color gray. All right, I actually do need to swatches now. I accidentally shut those before. Let's see. Love emote had it. All right, swatches. I want star. I'm pretty sure it's that one. I don't know. I can literally see on my own avatar. Yes. I love that. All right. So I got this. I get my star. My only problem with this star will be getting it the right size. It said, don't reinvent the wheel. If if something exists already, like don't put too much like effort into trying to make something from scratch. If you can kind of do something like this. I think I'm going up the wrong way. There we go. This is an 80. I'm going the wrong way. It's fine. It's probably like 95 or something. Let's see. Yeah, it's about that, isn't it? 94. 90's getting close. It's honestly about, yeah, that. Let's put you about here. Yeah. About right. And I kind of want to erase out the middle about the same size. About that, actually, yeah. a little bit top heavy. There we go. All right. I'm not putting much effort into that because once it goes down tiny, you're barely even going to be able to see that. And that's not the focal point her face is. So they'll just be if it happens to be in the thing. That's pretty awesome. I like this. All right, now I've got to actually remember to turn the background off because I always forget that. I saved myself a backup because I keep forgetting to do that before I start on these. Now, where the fuck did I save that? That's a good question. There it is. All right, open up the other one. Not the backup. That can go away. You can go away. Yeah, discard. I don't want you. And turn off the background. There we go. It looks like everything was here. Cool. All right. So basically what I've got to do for this is merge everything that's visible. Okay. This is why I wanted to back up. So now I've got to find, I got to make this symmetrical. Now, last time with Love, I zoomed it all the way into her face and shirt. But I don't actually have a lot of facial features this time, so I don't need to be that close. So what I can do is, what is that? That's 1.5 by 2. Let's take it to the edge of her hair for the moment. Out there. That's actually really close. I need her to have a little bit more centered though. She needs to actually have her face being centered, or otherwise it's going to give more of a, she needs to bring it down probably about here. So she'll still have her red ribbon and shit. Take this up to 296. I'm going to get a lot more of that chest in there this time. Kind of glad I put a bit of extra effort on that. Let's take it. Fucking put that back. Poor Shadow. He probably thinks I'm yelling at him. Every time I do that, it's always like Shadow happens to be doing something in another room. All right. So it's pretty obvious. Her expression is pretty obvious. Her body, face. I could bring it down a tiny bit more into her hairline. Get a bit more of her chest. Because she's centered at the moment. She's almost centered. If I take her up a little bit higher, her mouth will give more of the expression. All right, let's try that a bit. Take me down to about there. Not much, but come on, don't put it in the corner. I don't know what I think about like that being rounded. Like, it goes with like all the expressions and stuff. That's kind of like feel like it should have been flatter. But like the whole rest of her mouth and stuff is, I don't know. I think if I was laughing expression like that, it would be that. Because laughing kind of like changes the face a bit. All right. Let's see. I noticed her ribbon's not. I still managed to fuck up how her ribbon sits because I ended up moving her hair over and didn't fix up the ribbon. But her head is off to one side anyway, so it actually works. I like that little, like, the smallest little fuck up there, and it works so well with it. Yeah, no, I think that's great, actually. All right. Cut to there. She's got a lot of detail, but it's still very obviously my character, which is nice. But you know the weirdest part about having a character that has got brown hair is I feel like artistically it's not um pretty, but at the same time it's different because a lot of people have very, very colorful characters, and like that's awesome, but at the same time, like mine kind of almost stands out because she's just like this. Also, I saved her as a cropped one, but I also want to take her down a bit more. I'll take it down the different sizes first, and then I'll do a different, like, zoomed in one because I never zoom it in enough. Where is my? I guess I don't want to do different things. I want to scale. Scale's what I want. Yeah. So the thing is, when I make a emote, the biggest thing that I always fuck up is I never zoom her in enough to begin with. So when I end up making her an emote and I have her on Twitch, she always looks too blurry to sort of see what she is. I'm gonna call her that one. It's kind of hard to say what her name is because it's literally just like XD, the XD kind of expression. Let's save her at the XD one and pop you in here. Yeah, so basically I never tend to make her small enough the first time around. I think the next one's 58 from memory. Yeah, so I always have to go back and crop her smaller and then redo these. Like you can see as she's getting smaller and smaller how it blurs out and stuff. Oh, it's 56. Hold on. Very close. 56. It's the smallest one's 28. That's why I was thinking 8. I forgot that this has, or actually, back to what you're doing. I just looked over and remembered that the song's got like Ariel and shit. I always like this one. It has like so many different clips of Ariel in it. And I'm quite a fan of her. Obviously, another one of the characters out there in the world that has a name that starts with an A. So, of course, I like her. I reckon that that's honestly where it all started. I'm going to speculate that that's where it all started for me, was Ariel. All right. Now you're back up to size. Let's make this a tighter crop than I've already got. And that way, let's see. That way I can really bring it in. I kind of want to bring it in to about maximum there, kind of thing. The reason why I'm thinking that is because it would show more of her face, like that kind of thing. The 870 at the sides is not quite enough. Let's take it to there where I can make sure it's equal. Okay, let's work with this. Was it 952? 952 would be like that. But it basically like loses so much of everything else I worked on. But if I took down to her eyebrows instead, right? 952 is like way down here. Yeah, that also works. Alright, let's crop that. That actually looks nice. That's probably what's going to end up getting used, honestly. Like I said, when it comes down to... Let's save this as a different one. When it comes down to Twitch emotes, the smaller or tighter the crop is, the more visible it is for people to see it. So I do generally try to make it visible to begin with. Like I said, I spend so much time working on like so much of the details, but the other thing too is I will use these elsewhere. Like you'll see me use them in Twitch stories. I'll put them in Twitch stories and on, what do you call it? Onto Discord and other places and stuff. I also have to, before I uncrop this, I'll have to make sure I save it as the bigger one too, bigger cropped one. Because the problem that I've got is when I made Hype, when I made Hype emote, and then I made Love emote from her, at some point in time I deleted the original, which, you know, that's my bad. But like, it means that I don't have all of like the original like specifications and shit that I had. If I want to reuse something from a specific size, it does definitely help if I've got them saved in different sizes. I've just got to make sure they move in different places. There you go. All right. So what I want to do before I forget is this is what I want to save. Export as there. There we go. That way I don't lose that one in case I want to do something else from like this particular shape or size or something like that. I'm glad I like changed her hair and stuff and changed like her body and whatnot to work with it. Like some of it is from the original one, like literally her nose, part of her face, part of her shirt, all of that's still from the original. Like I didn't have to put white around the edges, but that's fine. Like whatever works. All right, let me see how they look. Twitch. And going to upload them at the moment. For anybody that has got a subscription to me on Twitch, they should be, after I get them uploaded, they're usually available like within a refresh, typically. So which one did I want to replace? I kind of wanted to replace that one. Might do. Take this one maybe out. My only problem is that I don't actually have a current emote slot unlocked. I am about 32. Hold on. 5 minus 32. I'm 33 subscriptions, like subs away from an unlock. So I've been mostly kind of like rearranging what I've got so I can kind of work with it. I want to assign that differently. I want to remove this one. Let's remove that from there, please. What I want is this to go into there. No, go into there. All right, get out of there then. Jesus. Can I just allocate that from something? Yeah, that one. Let's put you there for now. And I want to upload a new one. I always like to do this at least while I'm still live with you guys, because like then I can see it and I can test it. I quite like the like zoomed out one, but of course I always like that because like it shows more details for me because I've spent time drawing in it. But I know that the other one, the one that's more zoomed in, is better. That's what I want to call that one. Yeah. All right. So where did you put that there? Let's move you over. Actually, hold on. Let's move you over. Where is the... Oh, there it is. It's fine. I'm just finding shit. There we go. All right. So that should be not visible in my stream labs, but it will be visible in if I give my dashboard a refresh. Give that a go. All right. Where are you? They are. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's very, very clear. That's good. Nice. I kind of wish my drinking emote one was clearer, but I don't want to zoom her in any more than she already is. But I feel like I lose a lot because there's a lot of detail on her. But that one's really obvious. That's fantastic. I also moved Sweepy up to follow emotes for now. I was considering removing Tree, but Tree's kind of a little sentimental to me. And one of these days we will have other slots available that I can put things like other emotes into those places and stuff. So, yeah, one of these days. All right.